All right, so some info on tire flips. So this is an older one of me from 2008. I'll let it play.
There you go. There you go.
So that's Phil Stevens helping me there. So what I like to do is, I know this video quality is pretty bad, but that's what they had in '08. So I like, again, there's different forms. I like to have my feet underneath me and more narrow. One that allows me to use my quads a little bit more. There's a lot less strain on the knees. So when you get in the position, what I like to do is have my legs inside of my arms. Because what I'm trying to do is create enough force that I'm not trying to lift the tire. I'm literally thinking about sliding it across the ground. But because there's going to be enough traction that it's laying flat, it's not going to move. So what's going to happen is this is going to pop up. I like to then get my arms as wide as possible. One, this puts the bicep at a very disadvantage. And to me, that's what you want. Because if I try to pull up there, granted, I could still damage my bicep, but I'm going to have a bad angle of pull on purpose. Because it's a natural instinct to want to deadlift and to curl everything. So having it wider, it also allows me a little bit to keep it more balanced also, and is more, I guess, more of a reason to not want to curl it.
There you go.
So what I do is once I get my feet under me, I'm thinking about driving straight through. So you'll notice that my chest, my collarbone, it's right in the middle of the tire. Your face is going to be straight on it. Your chin's going to be on it. So when I do these at home, my chin turns black a lot of times from it. Ideally, you want to have a pretty straight spine. I've got a fair amount of kyphosis there, which is better now, but I still have some of that.
There you go.
And you'll notice here how I'm still driving into the tire. I'm not trying to lift it up. You can see there's very little friction at all with my hands there. My hands are open and wide, and they're on the outside part, again, on purpose. And I'm just stepping right into it until I get up
There you
to
go.
right about this position here. So what you want to do here is you want to transition your hands in or use your leg to do it. You don't want to try to curl it here because the main issue with tire flips is people will blow their biceps. What happens is they move their arms in underneath, something happens to the tire, it starts crashing back down, and their instinct is to try to curl it. And that huge eccentric force will pop your bicep. So at this point, I got the tire almost to here. I like to use my leg to drive it a little bit, which is going to keep it at this angle. And at that point, I'm going to move my hands on the inside. So what I'm doing now is I'm pushing the tire. That way, if I can't make it or something happens, I can move my leg out of the way, get my feet out of the way, and I'll just fall back down. I'm not at a risk of harming my bicep. And the reality is with a really heavy tire, even a 400-pound tire, you're not going to be able to curl it. A light one you might be able to. And then also the size of the tire makes a big difference. So I did a strongman contest a while back, and they had a 550-pound tire. I think you had to do 4 flips. And that thing was brutal because it was a little lower to the ground. So usually the size of the tire will make a huge difference in the amount of leverage you can create also. So I'll send you that video. I've also got another video here that I just had pulled up. I'll send you this one too. So this is a buddy of mine I was teaching, again, back in 2008. This is at my place outside. And you can see what he's doing here. I'll show you.
There you go, tall spine.
Okay, so you'll see what he's wanting to do here is he's wanting to get those legs out a little wider. But what's going to happen then is you're going to have a force that's going to try to split your legs out. Now, some people can do this. Usually people who do a lot of sumo deadlifts can get away with that, and there are people who do it. Again, I'm not as big of a fan of that. What I like is having the legs all the way inside, those arms out nice and wide, tall spine, chin down, and you're literally thinking about not lifting it, just driving straight in it. So imagine you're going to slide that thing along the asphalt.
Go drive through it, straight through it, straight through it.
So you can see right here, he's pushing, but he's really trying to use those arms, right? So you can see the tire pop up a little bit there. So you notice how much tension he's got through the biceps there, and he's really cranking on that part of the tire. Again, if it's a really light tire, you may be able to get away with that, but as you get tired, as you get fatigued, you're not going to want to do that at all. And you'll notice here it's not really that effective either. And again, we did this as part of a circuit, so again,
You got it. Bring your arms.
he's a lot more fatigued at this point,
That's
so he's
alright.
going to set up again.
There you go, chin down. Good. Tall spine.
So notice how he's getting those knees inside of the arms at this point. There you go. So now he's going to think about, notice how he got it up, right? So watch the drive.
There you go, chin down. Good. Tall spine.
So you notice how he's pushing straight into it. So you're going to keep pushing straight into it.
There you go, you got it. Bring your arms in.
There you go. So he gets it up to this angle. You can use the leg, which is kind of what I like. Some people don't do that. They'll just pop their hands in. So he got his hands nice on the inside.
There you go. You got it. Nice.
Boom, all the way over. If you're doing this, or when you do it, I should say, biggest thing is get in the right position. Get that collarbone and shoulders, like find the two treads here. Get right between those. Get that collarbone all the way on it. Have the neck kind of neutral. Your chin's probably going to be down into the tire. Look up where you're going to go. And then think about driving straight into it. And you're going to push straight into it. The friction's going to stop it here and it's going to come up. And you will be good to go.